With the onslaught of anime coming each and every season, and streaming and pirating becoming more accessible, watching anime is easier than ever. But the anime I'm going to be talking about is one of those released in the mid 2000s, where those that didn't do well enough commercially get buried. An anime with only around 9,000 users completing it on MAL in a mid 7 rating. I believe this is one of the most underrated in terms of overall score, and also one of the most underappreciated in terms of success and popularity. The anime is Fantastic Children. Through what I said before about its time of release, it's easy to see why it didn't do well commercially upon the initial release. Being from Nippon Animation, which is greatly recognized and respected within Japan, but it finds little success internationally beyond the original Hunter x Hunter. In terms of score, my theory on anime in similar positions to Fantastic Children is this. It's a very obscure anime that doesn't have many watchers in the first place, making it very easy to skew from bad ratings. And with that, the audience itself is comprised of a more hardcore watcher than casual watcher when it comes to the anime, and I believe this hardcore audience is the audience that's a bit more difficult to receive a high score from, like a 9 or 10. And with the combination of the low viewer count, I believe that's what results in the mediocre score. So with that said, let's get into the anime itself. Not much makes sense at first. You have white-haired children running rampant throughout various periods in history. Who are they and what's their goal? And while you do see scenes early on from their perspective, the storytelling is executed perfectly that it only creates more mysteries and intrigue to be resolved later in the series. After the anime finishes putting the pieces into place for this plot to start, we are placed into our mainstay for what's to come, and we are introduced to our main cast. There's Toma, an ambitious and eccentric boy who seems to have been privileged in his upbringing. There's Helga, an almost mute girl who is distraught with thoughts that don't even seem to be her own, while being a mysterious existence that Toma is interested in learning more about. And Cheeto, a young boy whose only goal seems to be helping Helga achieve what she wants. The plot begins with the delivery of Helga, but soon evolves into much more when the first twist is revealed and practically changes the world and the understanding of it within the anime. While it's hard to piece together what's truly going on early in the story, you learn along with the main cast during their adventure how the world around them really works. What I must say is while the characters are great, they're not the main focus of the plot, as Fantastic Children is a sociological story that uses society and the history and actions within the world itself to drive and lead the series to the expression of its main theme, rather than the main cast. The world and its rich history are the main star and story, but the plot is the characters functioning within it. The story does not take center stage until much later, when it presents itself and bridges it into the ongoing plot. Much like another recent watch of mine, the first episode of Decalogue, an episodic TV series that exhibits the values of each of the 10 Commandments. With this anime using its twists and reveals pretty brilliantly, it'd be a disservice to spoil them right now in its mainstay through this recommendation video, so I'll present the main theme through an example and reference. In my example of Decalogue, the first episode takes place with a father and his son experiencing the very powerful and somewhat godlike computer that has this ability to mesmerize the two with its unseen capabilities at the time. There's various religious imagery within the episode to signify the tides are shifting and the reliance upon the technology is becoming more than simple entertainment. Eventually, unknowingly, the son puts his life into the hands of technology, symbolic of the choice of putting your trust in technology over God, asking the computer to use its algorithm to calculate if a lake of ice was thick enough to skate on. And within the climax and final say of the episode, it's shown through horror why this commandment is significant. In Fantastic Children, we are put through a similar thematic route, combined with the greed of man and the downfall when it becomes excessive. But this only remains behind the curtains for the majority of the early watch. It's once the curtains are pulled and the entirety is on display, the story shines. The art style is definitely deceiving, being presented in a style that would make you think Caillou or Franklin the Turtle rather than a highly complex and somewhat dark suspenseful fantasy adventure, as well as being a hidden gem from the mid-2000s. It'll be very difficult to find a link to the anime that is an abysmal quality. But the atmosphere that results from the composite of the directing, tone, and music, it's amazing and really immerses you within the world itself. It may seem slow and confusing at first, but Fantastic Children is a rewarding and satisfying watch once you get deeper and allow it to all unfold. It is 26 episodes that I believe definitely could have been condensed into 24 though. Due to the time of release and probably team and budget, There's a lot of corners that are cut in every episode, such as flat images and long reactions that could have just been a second or two. I really believe if you compiled it and deleted some of the extra, the series could have been cut down 2 episodes at least, which I believe is the strongest downside of the anime. But if you're willing to watch a show that requires you to go through a bit of a slow burn at first, the slow payoff is more than worth it, and I heavily recommend you watch Fantastic Children. So that's it for this recommendation. I think it definitely deserves a watch if this video intrigued you at all. For future videos, I'm going to try to be more consistent and would like to post a video every week. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be trying to post a different variety of each video so everyone can find something up their own alley. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well, as I'm active on there and have different content as well as talk about the releases of my next video. That's everything from me today. Thanks for watching, so easy.